My sister has been stalking the woman my ex cheated with for 5 years, and I accidentally found her journals about waiting to ruin her life. So I'm scared she's going to actually hurt someone and don't know if I should tell our parents or the police. Posted by you Puzzleheaded Wish 538. So I 23F have a sister, 25F, and I'm really worried about her. Her ex cheated on her 5 years ago with this woman, and ever since she's been obsessed and stalking her. At first she said it was to see if she got karma for what she did. But now it's turned actually psychotic and maybe violent, and I don't know what to do or if I should tell my parents. My sister started dating this guy when she was in high school. He came to our house a million times, and we all saw him as a part of our family, especially when they stayed together after graduation. 5 years ago, he cheated on my sister. She found out a few days after their 5th-year anniversary when they were like 20. The girl he cheated with knew he had a girlfriend, but that didn't stop her from hooking up with him. My sister was of course devastated, but she gave him another chance, and a few weeks later he ended up breaking up with her, and she found out that he never stopped talking to the other girl even though she forgave him. When she was exposing the side chick in the beginning on her Snap stories, I of course understood and supported her as her sister, and found the girl disgusting. I thought my sister would get over it with time, and was there for her for the beginning. After 2 years I was shocked she hadn't moved on. She forgave her ex and even slept with him after the breakup, but she always hated the girl. The girl blocked her everywhere, but my sister still watched all her pages and knew everything she did. If the girl posted herself at a restaurant on her story, my sister would drive to it and eat there and purposely walk by the girl's table to make her ashamed of what she did. She also knew where she lived and her work schedule, and followed her around all the time, and would constantly tell me how much she hates her, and how she's never wanted someone to be dead so bad. I found it very concerning, and when I told my sister she needs therapy, and that our parents should know how badly and long this has been affecting her, she shut down completely, and told me she was just joking and hasn't told me anything since. That was 3 years ago. My sister has dated casually briefly since, so I assumed she moved on. It has been 3 years since she told me anything about her stalking and hating the girl, and I had completely forgotten about the situation until this past weekend. My sister had a work trip last week and asked if I could feed, walk, and basically babysit her new puppy who needs a lot of attention. I said sure, since I am doing all my classes online this semester, and stayed the week at her apartment. It's a few cities away, so I've only gone to see her a few times since she's moved here. And as a sister, I made myself welcome in her apartment and slept on her bed. I always slept on the left side, but on Saturday I was cold and wanted to sleep on the right side, which is closer to the heater. And when I laid my head down, I felt something uncomfortable and realized there was something inside of her many pillows. Inside of it was a composite notebook labeled Anna, not her actual name, but the girl her ex cheated on her with. When I saw that, I was shocked. I hadn't thought of the name in years. The journal was so scary. Basically, she never got over the situation and has been waiting on karma to get the girl back for being the other woman, but it hasn't. I didn't keep up with the girl's life, but she moved away years ago, got married, and makes lifestyle content for what looks like fun since she doesn't have many followers on any of her pages. Her life seems perfect. My sister goes on and on about how much she hates this woman, but what scared me is that my sister flew out to this girl's city to stalk her in person and figure out what house she lives in. She tried to figure it out from what she posts of her house and area. During a time she told us she was visiting her friend who was sick. I was so shocked she would go that far. And it wasn't just one time, she's done it twice from what I read. Also, the notebook I found is dated and only goes back to May of 2024, so I assume she has multiple other ones, none I could find. She stated in it, the only way she will get over it is if the other woman suffers, and since karma hasn't gotten her back, my sister will. There was also a lot of other weird, threatening things in there, like how she describes wanting to watch her pass away. I was so weirded out, and when my sister got back Monday, I tried to act normal. I know I'm crazy, but a part of me thought she left the state to kill the girl. I went to view the girl's Insta page on a burner I made, and she's posted since, so she's alive. That's when I realized that fact that I could think my sister would seriously do that is insane. And that if 5 years later she still can't get over the situation, she needs a lot of help. I'm worried for her and also the other girl. I never thought I could feel bad for her, but if only I could describe better what my sister wrote, I truly feel like she may be in danger. The issue is I'm scared if I tell my parents, who don't know anything, and that my sister got over it way before I did, there's not much they can do just based on my word alone. My sister has a job, apartment, her own life. I didn't take the notebook. I obviously don't want her to know I know, so I have no proof. I wish I took screenshots, but I was so in shock all I could do was read, and when I finished I put it back and felt dirty. I don't know what to do. Wibto if I don't speak up. Should I try to go back to get more proof and then tell my parents so they can maybe stage an intervention? I'm so stressed. Relevant comments. Downvoted commenter. This cannot be real. If something happens, you are as guilty as your nut job sister. You both are disgustingly vile. Op response. I'm still processing everything. This just happened on Saturday and I got back home Monday. I haven't been able to eat, sleep, do anything. I feel sick. I want to tell my parents so bad, but with no proof I feel like I'll look crazy. My sister is not dumb, she would destroy the journals. I feel so stupid. I should have took screenshots or took it. I'm trying to think of an excuse to go over to her apartment like I left something there, but I've never been there alone besides last week. Commenter 1. You need to speak up. Now. This is not normal heartbreak or lingering resentment. This is full-blown, escalating stalking behavior with real potential for violence. You are absolutely not the asshole for reporting this, but you would be complicit if something happens and you stay silent. Why this is a real risk. Your sister's behavior has crossed multiple red lines. 1. She has been obsessed with this woman for 5 years, long past when most people would have moved on. 2. She physically tracked her in real life, not just online. Stalking someone across state lines means this is no longer just an emotional fixation. It's a growing, tangible threat. 3. She keeps a journal documenting violent fantasies and openly writes that she sees hurting this woman as the only way to move on. 4. She has already lied to cover her stalking trips. If she's willing to deceive her own family, she is fully capable of taking further steps. 5. She believes karma hasn't punished this woman enough, so she might take justice into her own hands. This mindset is incredibly dangerous because it suggests she thinks violence is justified. What you need to do: 1. Tell your parents. Even if they don't believe you at first, insist that they listen. Your sister may be functional in other areas of life, but this specific behavior is not rational. 2. Gather any proof you can. If you have access to her notebook again, take photos or notes. If you remember past conversations where she admitted to following or stalking this woman, write them down. 3. Consider going to the police. Even if you don't have physical proof, you can file a stalking tip or welfare concern. Law enforcement may not act immediately, but putting her on their radar could prevent something worse later. 4. Reach out to a mental health professional, if she'd be open to it. Your sister clearly needs help, and she may not realize how deep she's fallen into this obsession. If she refuses, that's even more reason to escalate the situation. 5. Warn the woman if possible. If there's a safe way to do so, like anonymously, letting her know she may be in danger gives her a chance to protect herself. This isn't about tattling, it's about preventing a crime. If your sister actually follows through on her threats, you will regret staying silent forever. Stalking cases often escalate from watching following to confronting to physical harm or worse. She is already at stage 2 or 3. If you wait until she makes a direct move, it might be too late. It's scary, but you have the power to intervene before this turns into something tragic. Do not second-guess yourself. Speak up now. Update. A bit over 10 months later. Thank you to everyone who replied to this and gave me a lot of feedback on what to do. This was almost a year ago, and a lot has happened. A lot of people recommended that I tell my parents, so I did. They were so shocked but said I must be overreacting and that maybe I misunderstood what I saw. That my sister isn't crazy and that it was probably an old journal that I found. My mom even told me it was rude to snoop. I immediately regretted telling them and begged them not to tell her, and they promised they wouldn't. A few weeks after that, I noticed my sister blocked me on Insta and my texts weren't going through. I found out that my mom slipped up the night before and told my sister over the phone what I told her, and my sister told my mom that I am crazy, that she doesn't even journal anymore, and that I was just trying to paint her out to be a bad person. My mom told us that we were being petty and to just drop it, but my sister completely cut me off and didn't speak to me for months. I just moved on with life. A few months ago, my sister was arrested. She got extremely drunk and went to her ex-boyfriend's house and tried to break in. There is ring camera footage of her confessing her love for him, saying that she will never leave him alone, and then he has to open the door and her trying to kick it down. This man is married with kids. This was crazy. I never thought something like this would happen. When my parents found out, they immediately believed me, sat me down and asked me to tell them everything that I read again. My mom told me that she just didn't want to think that it could ever be true that my sister was still crazy and stuck on this. And that's why she told me that she didn't believe me at first, but now she does, and they both apologized. My sister got out of jail on bond, And when she did, my parents told her that if she wanted them to pay for a lawyer, they would have to see her journals. She refused, so my parents kept their word, and my sister got a public defender. This is when she reached out to me and asked me to beg my parents to pay for a lawyer since her trial is coming up. I told her that we were scared for her, and that we love her but she needs help, and that she won't let us help her. There's nothing we can do. She ended up getting 2 years of probation for what she did. She stopped speaking to my parents as well after they didn't pay for her lawyer. We found out 2 weeks ago that she had arrested for moving out of state while still on probation. She broke the probation rules. Where did she move? To the same city as a woman she was stalking. I can't even DM the other woman because her page has been private now for a few months. When I told my parents this, they both started crying. She had a warrant out for her arrest and was recently just arrested last night. We have no idea what's gonna happen now. I hope that this is the wake-up call for her, and she gets the psychiatric help she needs.